Good evening, everybody. This is Rob. As promised on social media, I will now be doing my live slash freshly recorded, not legitimately live, reading of one of my favorite childhood books. I was recently reminded of this book through some random, I don't know, I was on the internet or something and I saw something about it and I was like, this used to be one of my favorite books as a kid, and time to share it with you guys. So, yeah, here we go. I made a little stand out of a bike pump and a broom to be able to hold my phone while I read to you with, because I need both my hands to hold the book. So, anyways, it's called Fred's TV, written and illustrated by Clive Dobson. The book was made in 1989, 1 year before I was born. Anyways, this book is dedicated to all species, birds and humans. Fred sat down in front of the television with enough supplies to last the whole weekend. He had a can of bright-colored pop, 6 black cookies oozing white cream, a package of purple foaming pellets, and a huge lumpy ball of gum. Oh, poor guy. He looks like he needs help. Sometimes his school friends kept him company in front of the glowing tube. They didn't say much and they didn't play much. They just sat there, stupefied. One day, Fred's parents said that was too much. They decided that he could only watch television for 1 hour each day, no more. But when his parents were busy, he went back to watching TV anyway, hour after hour, program after program. Fred's father got angry. That part scared me when I was a kid. Anyways, he unplugged the television and carried it down to the storage room in the basement. And the cat said, meow. Several days later, when Fred was missing after dinner time, his parents found him curled up between some cardboard boxes, watching TV. Fred's dad was furious. He couldn't think of anything else to do except to drag the television outside to the backyard. It wasn't a very good idea. It rained that night. Fred came downstairs in the morning to watch TV. Then he remembered where it was. Out the back door he ran, extension cord in hand. He plugged in the television and flicked on the switch. Bang! Smelly white smoke billowed from the back of the set. There was no picture, so Fred turned the TV off. For the next week or so, Fred was never at home. He stayed at his friend's house watching TV until he wasn't welcome anymore. Fred begged and pleaded with his mom and dad to have their TV fixed. So a TV repairman came by. He was surprised to see the TV in the backyard. He told Fred that it would be expensive to fix, and he took the insides back to the repair shop. Fred sat there eating his toast, staring sadly at the empty cabinet. Before he finished, a skinny blackbird landed on the top of the TV and watched him cautiously. The bird flew away when Fred offered it something to eat. I'll put these crusts inside the TV where they won't get wet, thought Fred, just in case he comes back. He looks very hungry. The blackbird did come back when Fred was at school. If there hadn't been a light snow that day, Fred might not have noticed the little footprints on top of the TV. He was quite amazed. He looked inside. The bread crusts were gone. Maybe he'll come back again, thought Fred. He ran into the kitchen to get more bread. After waiting patiently for half an hour, he began to get cold and went inside the house for his own dinner. Before he went to sleep, he looked out of his bedroom window one last time to see if his hungry friend had returned. By the way, Fred, amazing PJs. Snow was falling again, and the television looked strange outside in the backyard. The bread was still there where he had left it. As Fred drifted off to sleep, he wondered how all the other birds in the city were going to find anything to eat with deep snow covering the ground. Winter light of morning came slowly. The deep snow outside muffled the usual traffic noises. Different sounds from the backyard brought Fred to the window. There were 2 blackbirds on top of the TV and 3 inside. They had eaten all the bread and were calling out for more. Fred ran down to the kitchen, grabbed a loaf of bread, and rushed out the back door into the snow. The blackbirds were startled by the sudden movement and flew up to the telephone wires. Come on, Fred. The snow slipped down his boots and froze his bare ankles. Quickly he tore up some bread and dashed back inside to watch. All 5 blackbirds came back, and with them 2 sparrows and a pigeon. Fred watched them until his dad came downstairs to make breakfast. From a shelf he pulled down a bottle of cornmeal and handed it to Fred. Then he smiled and pointed towards the back door. By midwinter, there were many different kinds of birds coming by regularly for food. Even a pair of cardinals visited Fred's TV feeder once a day on their rounds. There's the cardinals. Every morning, the chickadees wake Fred up for sunflower seeds. Fred's dad doesn't yell at him anymore. He even bought a new color television for everyone in the family. Sometimes he teases Fred and asks with a smile on his face, "You still watching that old TV?" Once in a while, Fred does watch the new television, but only when the old TV in the backyard has gone off the air for the evening. And that's the end. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. That book really inspired me as a child to not be addicted to television, and to this day, I sometimes watch TV, sometimes on my phone. I don't really own a TV or a computer these days, but yeah, I do like to watch some shows, so I'm not going to say I don't watch any TV. Can't say that. But definitely I find a lot of enjoyment from doing things outdoors, and not just only bird watching or things with animals, but anything where you go and actually engage instead of just sitting and watching something while you just sit passively and do nothing. So anyways, love you guys. Thanks for watching. All right, have a good night.